Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a movie that I've never seen before. It's from 1950. It's just a few minutes shy of being 1 hour long. And, I mean underneath that hour, for that matter. About 57 minutes long. And I don't really know anything about this true life person that this is about. It is a non-fictional story that I'm assuming most of it's true. Maybe the details are a little bit hazy. I don't really know. I'm not really familiar too much with this part of history. It's about a very famous or infamous historical icon who has had a lot of adaptations of what happened to him, whether it be with Brad Pitt or Emilio Estevez, my personal favorite. This particular movie is called I Shot Billy the Kid, and again, it came out in 1950. I didn't know much about Billy the Kid aside from the two movies I just mentioned, and I was hoping that this would be a really good flick. It was on a channel that I watch quite a bit on YouTube called, like, Cult Cinema Channel or something like that. The dude has like 1 million subs, and he just does like a movie night every couple of days on his channel, which is kind of fucking cool. But he plays a lot of old classic cult cinema, some really well-known movies, some movies I've never really heard of, whether it be film noir, creature features, whatever it could be. So go check out his channel first and foremost. But I Shot Billy the Kid was one of the newer releases he put out, and I've been getting into a big Western kick recently. I love revenge tales, I love biopics, I love a lot of stuff like that. And I went into this not really knowing much. It being an hour long, I'm going to tell you straight out, it's very rushed. It flies by. This is a little bit of a messy, confusing movie that has some charm to it that I overall had a solid, okay, very bland time with, but at least I could find moments that I enjoyed. Where do I even start with this movie? If you've seen it, you probably understand what my hesitance is with this film. I don't know anything the director did off the top of my head when I was looking at it, but the writer, Orville H. Hampton, is also the guy who wrote The Four Skulls of Jonathan Drake, which is a really good 50s, 60s, 40s, somewhere in that time frame horror movie that I really enjoyed quite a bit. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Not very easy to find on like VHS or DVD, which is a shame because it's pretty solid. I think I saw it on like Tubi. I don't know. But anyway, that's a better movie than this. So this movie, I was so confused for the longest time watching it because I couldn't tell at the end of the day when I finished it today at work, my breaks, I couldn't really figure out who exactly, or let me backtrack. This is really confusing because of the kind of movie it is. I couldn't figure out how long this movie took place over. Like, was it a year? Was it 8 months, 6 months, a month? What the fuck was the time frame for when this movie took place? I've heard some people say online, after I did a very small amount of research, because a lot of people barely covered this thing anywhere, whether it be IMDb, Letterboxd, there might be a few handful of reviews on any of those websites and other places too. It seems to me like this is supposed to take place over 3 years or something like that. I don't feel like the movie made that very apparent, which is, you know, it's an issue with the movie in my personal opinion. But anyway, despite the timing of how long this takes place over, it is in the final days of Billy the Kid's life and his evil, evil ways and all the things he did. He's also being played by a man who is clearly like in his 40s or 50s. He is way too old to be playing this role, but apparently I think I read somewhere that this man had also starred as Billy the Kid in other movies too around the time, maybe even before this film. So what the hell? I think Billy the Kid died at like 19 or 20, 21, somewhere in there if my historical knowledge is correct, if I'm remembering correctly, assuming that he was killed at that time. There are some conflicting thoughts about that. I'm not going to go down that fucking rabbit trail, but if the reports are to be believed, this man is too fucking old to be playing Billy the Kid in this movie, is all I'm saying. But is he bad? No, he's good. I really like his performance. Once I finally figured out who was playing Billy the Kid, which character in the film of all the people who look exactly alike was supposed to be Billy the Kid, and eventually we got to a point in the film, like 20 minutes into it, where everybody started pointing at a guy and calling him Billy, and then it occurred to me, that's Billy the Kid. So there we go. I happen to watch it on a channel that's called like Cult Cinema Channel or something on YouTube. I also see him on BitChute sometimes too. It's pretty cool. He does like movie nights and stuff to let people find out old movies from like the 50s and 60s and 40s and 30s. Really cool channel if you like that kind of thing. I recommend it. He does everything from noir movies to romance films to musicals to creature features, all kinds of really cool stuff, just in case you want to check him out. But that's where I saw this, and it's black and white, obviously. And it's a mixed bag. as I said, it's very clear between the time lapse and between the actual performances of some of the other people in the movie, it's a little uneven, is what I would say. It has a lot more bad in it than good, but it's just charming enough that I had a decent time watching it, but I wouldn't say it's going to be something everybody could enjoy. If you happen to be a big Western guy, this is solid. I think you'll have a decent time with it, or at least an average, right underneath average, somewhere in that ballpark, decent time with it. If you're not a Western fan, this is not going to be something like the Oxbow Incident for you. This is not going to be the Hateful Eight or Bone Tomahawk or anything like that that would really convert you into a Western fan. That's just not what this movie is. This is just again, a biopic, however we call it, mixed with a little bit of Western, retelling, which is okay. Pat Garrett, I assume, is the character who killed Billy the Kid in real life. He's supposed to be telling us the story from the future as an old man, and that's really what this movie is. At the end of the day, there's not really much tension to it. There's maybe one or two scenes towards, the latter half of the movie that are pretty engaging, I guess. And again, the performance from the guy playing Billy the Kid, he's pretty solid in here. When I found out that he was Billy the Kid, like I said, he's really the reason you watch this movie, I would say. But aside from that, the writing isn't that strong. It's a little confusing sometimes with the opening of the movie and how long the time lapse is, as I said. But the relationships and whatever, they're very bland. There's not really much to care about in there. Even down to Pat Garrett, who apparently had some original friendship with Billy the Kid before apparently he went completely bad. Again, I don't know how true or not true that is. Just saying how the movie puts it in perspective. That stuff feels like it's not as well done and well executed as it could have been. I don't think this was like a TV movie or anything, so I don't think it was. It's very lackluster for an hour-long movie. It zooms by, it's rushed to hell. The ending of the film is rushed to hell. It doesn't know what pacing is what my big issue is. And I don't think expanding it could have done any better, really, if I'm being honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's fine. It's underneath average, I would lean more towards, if I have to be honest with you. But it has that charm, once again, that for whatever reason drugged me through the film, had me curious, made me want to see where it was going, and here I am. The music, by the way, ain't that great either. Not very memorable at all. No anthems or anything that really stand out to me. Aside from that, I Shot Billy the Kid is kind of a even less than mediocre, lackluster movie. But is it worth watching? Again, if you're a Western person, if you're a Billy the Kid obsessee, probably. Maybe you'll enjoy this more than I did. But there ain't much information out there about it aside from the film itself that you can watch, and that's all I got to say. If I had to rate the film I Shot Billy the Kid on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. It's a very mixed bag. Very, very mixed bag. But I have seen worse. I've seen worse Westerns. I've seen worse of many different types of genres and subgenres and so on and so on. So this is not the bottom of the barrel for me. This is just one of the many things that are kind of the scum floating near the bottom somewhere. Anyway, have you seen I Shot Billy the Kid? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about it down in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you think. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Happy Thanksgiving, and goodbye.